In this video, we're going to talk about Chapter 9 of Genki. Section 1, Short Past Tense. In the previous chapter, we learned short forms of present tense. Here, we're going to learn short forms of past tense. Let's look at the conjugation patterns. First, verbs in the affirmative. We replace te or de in te form with ta or da. So to read 読む, its te form is 読んで, replacing de with da, we have 読んだ. 食べる to eat, its te form is 食べて, replacing te with ta, we have 食べた. Verbs in the negative. We replace the final I in the short present tense negative with 買った. 読む, its short present tense negative is 読まない. So replacing I with 買った, we have 読まなかった. 食べる, 食べない, 食べなかった. Next, I adjectives. Both in the affirmative and negative, we simply drop the final des in the long forms. 面白い interesting, 面白かった、面白くなかった. Next, na adjectives in the affirmative. We replace でした in the long forms with だった. So 静かな quiet, 静かでした is its long past affirmative. So replacing でした with だった, we have 静かだった. And na adjectives in the negative, we simply drop the final des in the long form. So 静かじゃなかった. Irregular adjective, いい、よかった、よくなかった. And noun in the affirmative, we replace でした in the long form with だった. So 学生でした is a long past affirmative. So 学生だった short past affirmative. And nouns in the negative, we simply drop the final des in the long form. So 学生じゃなかった. Okay, and in chapter 8, we learned several applications of te form, and same applications can be used with short past tense. For example, in casual conversations, did you have dinner? 晩ご飯食べた? We learned that in short form, casual conversation, we don't use the question particle か, but instead we use rising intonation to indicate it's a question. So 晩ご飯食べた? Yes, I did. 食べた. In quoted speech, we learned that when you quote someone's speech, for the quote part inside sentence, we use short form. So my mom said that my brother ate my cake. So this is the quote part. お母さんは弟が私のケーキを食べたと言っていました。So 弟が私のケーキを食べた. My brother ate my cake. That's the quote part, and it's in short form. And here, が is used after 弟. And in general, the topic particle は in the inside sentence is replaced by the particle が. Because we are already using the topic particle は for the outside sentence. お母さん here is the subject. So for the subject in the inside sentence, we often use the particle が. But that's not always the case, so it's case by case. Alright, and in Japanese, when you make a report, the tense of the original report is preserved. For example, if your older brother said, 今、部屋を掃除している. I'm cleaning my room now. Then your report will be, we need to use the same tense. お兄ちゃんは部屋を掃除していると言っていました. The present tense is used here. Whereas in English translation, we would say, my older brother said that he was cleaning his room. So here in English, we use past tense. Okay, let's do exercise. Translate the following into Japanese in informal speech. A. Did you eat pizza yesterday? No, I didn't. It would be 昨日ピザを食べた食べなかった B. What did you do on the weekend? I watched a movie with my friend. 週末何をした友達と映画を見た C. Did you study Japanese yesterday? Yes, I did. 昨日日本語を勉強したした Okay, D. Translate the following and let's use long form here. My dad said he went to Japan when he was young. 私のお父さんは若い時日本に行ったと言っていました。I'm gonna repeat this one more time. 私のお父さんは若い時 when he was young 日本に行った That's the quote と言っていました。Okay, E. My friend said she watched this movie last night. 私の友達は昨日の夜この映画を見たと言っていました。F. I think that the movie was fun. 私は、この映画が面白かったと思います。G. I think Mary was not well. 私はメアリーさんは元気じゃなかったと思います。Okay, section 2, qualifying nouns with verbs and adjectives. We can use short forms of verbs to qualify nouns. For example, the student who is reading a book over there is Kohei. So this orange part describes the student. In Japanese, we would say あそこで本を読んでいる学生は浩平さんです。So we can have a whole sentence in front of a noun, in this case 学生, to describe that noun. But this orange part needs to be in short form. あそこで本を読んでいる Reading a book over there is used as a qualifier for the noun 学生. A qualifying phrase like this, which has a sentence-like structure of its own, is called relative clause. So relative clause needs to be in short form. Let's look at some examples. People who do physical exercises every day are healthy. 毎日運動する人は健康です。 So here, short form is being used. I like people who do not smoke. タバコを吸わない人が好きです。So 吸わない is in the short form. Who is the person taking pictures over there? あそこで写真を撮っている人は誰ですか？撮っている is in the short form. Okay, let's do some exercise. Look at the picture below and answer the questions. Example: 田中さん。田中さんはどの人ですか？田中さん is this person. So, メガネをかけている人です。The person who's wearing glasses. 田中さん。Okay. Number one. 中村さんはどの人ですか？ Which person is Miss or Mr. 中村？中村さん is here. So, ご飯を食べている人です。The person who's eating. Number two. 山口さんはどの人ですか？飲んでいる人です。The person who's drinking. 野村さんはどの人ですか？野村さん is this person. So, 寝ている人です。The person who's sleeping. 森さんはどの人ですか？歌っている人です。The person who is singing. 大川さんはどの人ですか？踊っている人です。The person who is dancing. 踊っている。鈴木さんはどの人ですか？ギターを弾いている人です。The person who is playing the guitar. To play instruments, we use the verb 弾く。So, 鈴木さんはギターを弾いている人です。Okay, section 3. Present tense, present perfect, and simple past. Let's look at those two examples. My brother has lost his key, and my brother lost his key. In the first example, in the first sentence, it describes the fact that my brother lost his key and he is still without his key. The event losing his key happened in the past and its effect is still connected with the present. This type of sentence is called present perfect. The second sentence simply describes the fact that he lost his key, and we don't know whether he found his key or not. Simple past tense sentences describe a past event which is independent of the situation at the present moment. And in Japanese, past tense of verbs can be used to describe both present perfect and simple past in the affirmative. So let's look at some examples. I did the homework yesterday. 私は昨日宿題をしました。So we use simple past tense. I have already done the homework. 私はもう宿題をしました。We still use simple past tense. But because of this word, もう already, we know that it's a present perfect tense. I have already done something. On the other hand, in the negative sentences, we use past tense forms to describe an action that was not done in the past. When we describe some action that has not been done yet, so there is some kind of connection with the present moment, we use ていません forms. For example, I did not do the homework yesterday. 私は昨日宿題をしませんでした。So simple past tense. I have not done the homework yet. Present perfect tense. 私はまだ宿題をしていません。ていません form. Okay, so in the affirmative, we use simple past tense to talk about simple past and present perfect. I did the homework or I have already done the homework. But in the negative, we use past tense form to talk about past negative event. しませんでした。I didn't do the homework. And we use ていません form to talk about present perfect tense. Alright, let's do some exercises. A. Have you already had lunch? No, I haven't. もう昼ご飯を食べましたか？いいえ、食べていません。B. Have you already cleaned your room? Yes, I have. もう部屋を掃除しましたか？はい、しました。Did you go to the party last night? Yes, I did. 昨日の夜、パーティーに行きましたか？はい、行きました。Did you watch a movie? No. Sorry, I is missing here. No, I didn't. 映画を見ましたか？いいえ、見ませんでした。So, the tricky part is here. No, I have not. We have to say いいえ、していません。But the literal translation would be No, I am not. But we use ていません form to talk about something that you have not done something. You have not done. Okay, section 4. Blah blah から。In chapter 6, we learned から means because. We can give a reason for something using から。One of the example we did was 天気がいいから外に行きます。Because the weather is nice, I'm going out. And I briefly mentioned that the clause before から is usually in the short form. So this part, this clause before から is usually in the short form. But back then in chapter 6, we didn't know what short forms are. But now we can make variety of から sentences. For example, since it was cold, we didn't go out. 寒かったから出かけませんでした。So 寒かった this is the short past tense of 寒い cold. Since I didn't sleep much last night, I'm very sleepy. 昨日あまり寝なかったからとても眠いです。寝なかっ kata is short past negative of 寝る to sleep. I am tired because I played soccer in the morning. 朝サッカーをしたから疲れました。した is a short past affirmative of する to do. We use the verb to do when you play some sports. So we say we do soccer. Okay, let's do exercise. A. I slept at the library because it was quiet. 静かだったから私は図書館で寝ました。B. I bought two books because they were cheap. 安かったから私は2冊、冊 is the counter for books 2冊本を買いました。C. I don't have money because I went to a trip. 私は旅行 trip is 旅行旅行に行ったからお金がありません。D. I don't eat sushi because I don't like fish. 私は魚が好きじゃないから寿司を食べません。The reason why it says usually in the short form here is because you could use long form in the clause before から but that sometimes sounds too polite. So for example, we could say 天気がいいですから外に行きます。Yeah, that sounds very polite. So as long as we use long form at the end of the sentence, 行きます, it would still be polite if we use the short form here. And in many cases, it's more natural to use short form. And that's not something special about this word から. But whenever we use some connecting phrase, such as から, or another one is けど, but, we usually use short forms in the clause before the connecting word. Okay, that's it for chapter 9.